Mhm.
oh, well, I don't support the NAP in this situation because it makes me feel
Yeah,
it makes me feel uncomfortable. But
yeah, for sure.
at the end of the day, you either believe in the NAP
Mhm.
or you only sometimes believe in the NAP,
Mhm.
which means that you don't really believe in the NAP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who be like, "Oh, I believe in the NAP," but
Mhm.
except for in this situation. Well, so it's like you don't really
Yeah.
believe in the NAP. Sometimes you believe in the NAP, but you
Mhm.
don't really believe in the NAP. Like you only believe in the NAP when you like it, when it makes you feel good.
Yeah, so that's why I would rather prescribe the NEP as like a specific legal philosophy instead of like when you want to avoid conflicts, that's when the NEP. I think that's sorry. Like I would just describe the NEP as a specific legal theory as you should avoid conflicts
Hmm.
always. And then any other counter theory would just fall into mixed law. Like you should sometimes avoid conflict. Like that would just be mixed law. It has nothing to do with the NEP.
Yeah, which is mixed
Yeah,
law
but
essentially.
could you elaborate
Yeah.
on the exceptions though? Like, what do you mean by exceptions? Are you talking about the law applies
Like
where
any
you
lifeboat
accept restitution,
scenario.
or you just
Like
But
any lifeboat scenario, like
well,
you
yeah, but
autograph
there's different but
person.
there's different ways of there's different ways of answering the lifeboat scenario in this situation.
Like you can do like Kinsella route and just say like morality is subjective and rights are meta norms, and sometimes, but like still like acknowledge that it's unjust to aggress always objectively. And then there's the ones that say, well, sometimes you should just aggress, you autogress. It's like obviously that they should would be just because X, Y, or Z. Like that's obviously absurd. It just fun to make law.
I don't
But
know if
can't I
I'm
just accept
convinced.
restitution though?
Sorry, go ahead, Anthony.
No, I was just gonna say, why can't you just take the Blockian position of
Because
accepting
these are retarded.
restitution?
It's
Why
like
is it
saying like,
retarded?
well, what if Hitler just accepted restitution after he did it? Would be just then.
Well, yeah, it would that would technically result in his death, and it would result in the that's literally.
Yeah, but would it be justified? Would that re-justify the actions he did?
I'm not saying it's justified or not. I'm saying that action doesn't pertain to NAP, in my opinion.
The point is still that if you ever say you ought aggress, regardless of the situation, then you're just into mixed law.
Hmm.
How this
Like,
is not really mixed law though.
Like you
well,
can say I would aggress or I do aggress. I would aggress in this scenario. That wouldn't contradict the statement. You would just be a hypocrite. But
Well, action doesn't mean someone is like believes in that.
I know that's why I'm saying that I could aggress in this scenario, or saying I would aggress in this scenario. I would be a hypocrite, but it wouldn't be. It would still be. I could still believe in the NEP.
But
The
yeah,
problem. The
that
problem.
goes back to my point. Like, action
The
doesn't
problem with the.
exactly
Yeah,
say
I
someone's
know.
wrong. It just
I,
yeah, it means someone's a hypocrite. But
I
by
don't
that
disagree.
self, that's tautological. You're being
I,
tautological here.
I don't disagree with that statement, and no
Okay,
one
that's
like
good.
no
Okay, that's good.
Napist is disagreeing with that statement either.
Hmm.
The point we're making is that you can't
What
ever
is theme
justify
of
the
the
scenario. Like
discussion?
you can't justify the aggression ever. You can't say I ought aggress. You can say I would aggress
Yeah, I
or
would agree. I
I
would
do
agree. Like,
aggress. The point
I
is
don't
that
believe
right
in
now we are
justifying
in a room,
aggression.
and I called it "Talk to
But I still
wouldn't be
Anarcho-Capitalists," and
in
we're
I
life
waiting
still
for people to
scenario.
join.
but
And they're
Aggression
talking about the NAP.
mhm.
aggression would still be unjustified. It would still be you ought not aggress still, and you can't ever claim you ought aggress in any scenario possibly.
No aggression. Aggression bad.
I mean, technically, if you go by the route of the contradiction of saying you ought to aggress and not aggress, when by the same logic, accepting
Oh, but
restitution
both are
solves that
AnCaps, or is one
contradiction.
of those a
Because when you
status?
accept restitution, i.e., the
We're all
Blockian,
AnCaps.
There's
the
no
Blockian,
contradiction. The problem is not a
no.
contradiction.
Hmm.
The problem is not a
No,
contradiction. The statement that not critiquing people who say I would steal the penny. I'm critiquing people who say that you should steal the penny or that it would be justified in any sense to steal the penny. That's the
okay,
people
I
I'm
got
critiquing.
it. I got it. Yeah.
Like I can say I would steal the penny. I objectively like if I were in the scenario, like everyone at certain limits, like people would aggress. I descriptively would aggress. I think it would be unjust. I ought not aggress. I can still believe in the NEP, but like at a certain point, I think like some people just like you. Everyone has like a limit where they just kind of turn into an animal at a certain point, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I would agree. Because, like, me personally, I'd take the blocking position, like I said.
The problem with the blocking position is that it would be just under this view. It's that the NEP would turn into a consequentialist thing, and it wouldn't be a deontological method, like quoting block directly here. Then, which means that aggression would be just by virtue of you paying restitution, which would be like an arbitrary limit by saying, "Oh well, look at that, the
No,
outcome very bad."
that wouldn't really be consequentialist.
Like Block has described it as consequentialist.
Well, I'm just saying if I take Block's position in the sense that I agree with his position of restitution. That doesn't mean I agree with his entire philosophy. I actually have a lot of disagreements with his philosophy.
Yeah, sure, I mean, I don't disagree with this restitution thing. The problem here,
I mean, by the same
obviously, you
logic,
should pay restitution, right?
I mean, yeah, fair enough. But
And that is what
actually, Jane.
Hello, naive Greg. We are AnCaps.
I don't think they need to
What's an AnCap?
continue.
Yeah.
An AnCap is an anarcho-capitalist, a person that believes in no state while also believing in capitalism.
And I'm guessing the typical response, because when you structure it like this, if it's just going to say, typically the first thought that comes to mind, and I'm guessing that's one of the first thoughts that's going to come up to naive Greg's mind is going to be, oh wow, that ideology is horrible. I think it's best to describe it in a better way. I would say, yes, I would generally agree. It's just the theories of left libertarians from the 17th, 18th, and 19th century. Oh no, not the 17th, but 18th and 19th century.
Good evening and happy New Year, cities and debaters.
Classical liberal thoughts of Acton, Locke, and like Locke and Acton, all synthesized under Murray Rothbard's ideology. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we are.
So we believe in free trade, and we're against the state.
Right. Okay, so that's what the first thing I was wondering was if you're against having these like large powerful structures which hang over society.
Depends on what you mean.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the state in this case. Like, if there was
we're against the state, yes.
Yeah, so in an anarcho system, you don't want there being a state.
Ideally, yeah. No state.
Yeah.
But doesn't that, like, I feel like there'd be so many more issues than presently are around agriculture, around just like a bunch of different things.
What would make you think
like,
that?
Why would that be? No, Sithis, why would that be?
Because there isn't that same level of interlinking that you get under a state with capitalism like you do in the US.
Why is that? Could you explain?
I just feel like it, to be honest.
Okay.
I have great arguments, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we let you think for a bit. But just to explain, I mean, I'm guessing you're talking about the monopoly, that monopoly on force can help regulate and help allocate resources, so to speak. I'm guessing your argument is something on those lines.
Yeah, but also that you get a much more powerful collective through that means, through capitalism under some type of government.
Could you elaborate?
In that, like, by having just like monopolies as an example, but this can happen for diverse markets too, that the resources being allocated are serving, how do I say it,
Wow.
So I'm completely blanking. I know what I want to say. I'm just trying to figure out a way to say it.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, I just feel like
Sorry,
there's
I was being sarcastic.
Much better coordination across society, not just in them being more connected or something, or having like some structure above. Shit, I'm dude.
So are you trying to say that with like the government can assist, private enterprise and perhaps other institutions within society that are non-state, like the government can help them in, allocation of resources, regulation, helping in education, stuff like that?
Yes, but more that I think society is much more uniform in direction,
Mm-hmm.
and also with the state, like without a state, would you not be lacking intelligence services? Because like that's a huge issue nowadays. Is a country that doesn't have one that'd be extremely detrimental to the U.S. Any Western country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing, if I were to understand what you're trying to infer, is we would argue, and I think most economists would argue that under the basis of economic calculation problem, economic calculation problem just suggests, or not suggests, but highlights how when you have a large amount of capital absorbed in the economy by the government, by a monopoly. It doesn't even have to be the government, but by large entities that own different types of capitals within different markets. You typically have a difficulty of allocating resources efficiently, and it's pretty much impossible. Even if you had AI, it would still be impossible because what allows people to allocate resources more efficiently is the price system. And the price system basically what the price system is in an economy is it's meant to be an indicator for where resources are needed, and it's meant to be a indicator for whether someone should conserve their resources. Let's think of it this way. Imagine, let's use rent as an example, not rent, but houses or real estate in general. With rent and real estate or housing, whenever there are prices above market level, assuming it's a healthy market without much control, or at least not control that could destroy this example. Whenever there are high prices, for an entrepreneur being someone who takes advantage of market situations to profit, an entrepreneur sees those high prices in rent and thinks to himself or herself, perhaps I could, enter into the business. Perhaps, I have a lot of money. I could perhaps start building my own houses. Perhaps I could actually rent out my own house, whatever. And because, high prices means, he can profit. And through that, he enters the market and, he does profit. But because more and more entrepreneurs are coming into the market, that eventually lowers the price. And when the price is lower or closer to equilibrium, what that means is there's enough resources going into that market. So what we see is that with higher prices, that entrepreneur knows where to allocate those resources when it's necessary. Or with lower prices, like prices below market rate, that typically suggests there may be too much allocation there. So some entrepreneurs may not invest at all there, and invest into more necessary sectors of the economy. And that's sort of links into why private ownership of capital that isn't just handed, a monopoly by the government, because that's pretty much the same thing, or doesn't control a mass swath of capital that may inhibit its allocation of resources. Without those prices, or without true prices, they don't really know where to allocate the capital. So let's use like a railway line. You're a Soviet planner, and you have to build a railway from point A to point B. The problem is, in the middle there's a mountain, and your question is, which one is more economically efficient? Is it the railway line through the mountain to make a tunnel, or is it to go around the mountain? And without the prices on capital, you won't know which route is going to be more cost efficient, or not cost efficient, but economically efficient. I mean, you could technically say, well, this one has a shortage, we have more on this material. Well, but by the same logic, but by that not by that logic, but at the same time, though, what is there to say that this material isn't better than the other material, or what's there to say that maybe a weaker material is better than a stronger material, or vice versa? And you constantly have these problems, even if you involve AI. I mean, we can look at Chile, for example, that had a supercomputer that tried to allocate resources for private businesses, and it didn't exactly do what a lot of those critics talk about. The only thing it said is that a business ought to invest into that, but it didn't say whether that investment is actually going to be is even cost efficient. So like it didn't exactly factor in whether opportunity costs, and that's very, very important for an economy. That's me finished. Very long waffle. Hopefully that's
Yeah.
kind of understandable.
No, it is. But it just kind of feels like you're saying, like, the way you're describing the way you just, holy shit, dude. I swear I'm not retarded.
Buy a wand,
But
bro.
let me-
It will make your
no,
life easy.
let me
leveling.
try typing.
Wand it
Honestly,
instead. Shadow bolt.
it might be better.
I will just add very quickly, if you are genuinely curious about it, you can read by Ludwig von Mises, the book
Economic calculation in the
yeah,
socialist
economic
commonwealth.
calculation in the socialist commonwealth. There we go.
Mhm.
It's quite a short
mind if I
book,
jump
only
in
like
here?
60 pages. Yeah, of course.
So, basically, just to add on to what he just said, fundamentally, when you don't have prices, you don't really know what people want and at what degree. Even if you get, like, I have a warehouse and it gets completely bought out, you don't really know, you may know that people really want it, but you don't know the degree in comparison to other things, because every time that you use something, oh, hey, what's up, taxation?
Taxation is quite a big.
We're talking about the ECP. So anyways, I was going to continue. Even when you're, you don't always know the degree. Like, so for instance, if something gets bought out, well, a lot of people want it, and to raise the price. But the question is, like, by how much? And, how do you know raising it by that much is the most value productive way of doing it? If you don't have, in a free market, what businesses normally do is they look at other businesses that are selling similar things, and then which we normally call external factor prices, right? And then they have that information. Basically, they look at what people are buying and at what price, and they use that information to make a good estimation as to what they should price their goods at. And that information,
it's based on supply and demand.
Yeah, it's fully based on supply and demand, because those numbers don't come from nowhere. They're not looking at these numbers. These numbers aren't just numbers on a chalkboard. They are representing what people in the market are buying and what they're willing to sell it, and at what quantity, and yada yada yada, all that information. So without all that information,
simply, very, very quick, just to say simply,
sure,
demand just means what people want, or how many people want something, and supply just means how many people are willing to produce something, basically.
Yeah. And prices kind of give you that signal, those signals. And without those prices, you don't really know what people really want. At what quantity.
You don't know how to produce capital efficiently, because technically you can price things that are outside of capital, but because advanced economies have a lot more capital, and the more capital involved there is, you're gonna need more and more prices.
And if you're guessing as to what people want, those aren't actual price signals. They are fake price signals. They don't represent what people actually want. And you're just assuming what people want. And, you can try your best to try to gather all the information that is needed to make a good estimation as to what people want without prices. But doing it is immensely harder than just simply using prices. Because prices do what is really important. They have what we call a revealed preference. They reveal a person's preference for one thing over another. They prefer the good over the amount of money that they have in their pocket. And that sends a signal. If people don't want to buy something, well, then people don't really want it. Without it, you don't even know. Even AI, right? How it can estimate what people want is by looking at what you buy and what you look at and what you watch on YouTube and stuff like that, and what you like on posts. And based on that information, they make an estimation as to what you actually want. Without that information, well, then how are they going to know what you want? They're not. It's pretty much like they're no better than the person that was into socialist planning price coordinator guys. What were they called? Right, price coordinators.
Yeah, the Soviet Union, they had to base their prices off black market goods and international market goods.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, I think some governments still use black markets because, we still have a lot of state services. The government still benefits a lot from black markets for that reason.
I mean, yeah, how do they know how to price cocaine? They look at the black market. You know what I'm saying? How do they know how to price drugs, illegal prostitutes, or any good that's on the black market? They look at the black market. And you know what the fact that they're looking at the black market, I mean, in terms of like the USSR, right, just shows you that they don't really know. They don't have the information on their own. They can't come up with the information on their own that those prices reveal, right? Those black market prices, they reveal people's preferences for one good over another and at what quantity. And if you're looking at the black market, well, then it just shows you, well, you're not able to get that information on your own without it.
You know what's funny along those lines? Mm-hmm. What's funny along those lines, the same government agency might price when they report a bust, like the DEA or something, or a state or county level narcotics unit. They might make a bust, and then the same amount of, say, cocaine can either get valued at, I don't know, say $6 million or at $140 million. And that and they're both correct, because it depends on whether we're talking about it being sold wholesale or being sold, like, broken down into grams and sold retail.
Mm-hmm. I would assume they would probably want to price it the highest so that they could be like, oh, we did $1 million worth of cocaine off the streets.
I've seen it go both ways. The last one I saw was a couple of days ago, and it was a bunch of kilos of blow, and they said it was like I think I saw a picture, and they said it was like $6 million, and looking at it, that looked like a wholesale price, not a retail price. But sometimes it'll say like fucking, $270 million, and so it's like almost clearly it's a fucking it's retail. Like if you were hypothetically to break it down into grams, you know, or cook it up into crack and sell it as dimes. Well, yeah, then it would be that much. If you have the patience for that.
Yeah, that sounds boring.
I don't know how the ECP. I don't know how the ECP talk came up in the first place. I don't know if y'all are dealing with a run-of-the-mill stator tot or like a full-blown tanky or something. But
no, we're just explaining, or like we just asked him why he believes, or he asked us why we believe in anarchy, and he asked us, well, isn't the government necessary for? He didn't really explain it too well, but I'm guessing he referred to allocation, regulation, and stuff like that. So I just went into the ECP in case that was what he was referring to. Now they're just typing, because they are far more comfortable with typing it out in the side chat. So we'll see what he meant.
To give my own take on that, anything that has a greater benefit than it has cost can and will be done on the free market, as long as people know how to do it and stuff. It's not something we haven't invented yet. Yeah, but if we know how to do something and it has a greater benefit than cost, then it'll be profitable to do on the free market. The only things that necessarily require government are things that have a greater cost than they have a benefit, such as perhaps death camps, or genocides kind of stuff, and wars of attrition against foreign populations. Things that are very expensive and are not producing that much value to people, therefore would not on the free market conjure the funding necessary to accomplish it. But if we're talking about the production of food and clothing and protection and judicial adjudication and roads and so on, these things provide a greater benefit to people than they do at cost. So they can and should be done on the market. See, on the market, they're able to allocate resources in proportion to some quantification of demand. That is some measurement of what exactly people want and need most urgently. Whereas government, they lack the factor prices and sales metrics in order to make that calculation. So the best they can do is guess, and that's putting it generously. Really what they do is appease the highest bidding financial interests. But even the best intentioned government would be stuck playing a guessing game, as Ludwig von Mises put it, groping in the dark. Accordingly, a government is the worst possible model for the provision of any service.
They are a criminal organization.
Well, there is also that.
6-7.
See, those of us who are anarcho-capitalists, not always, but usually have basically two parallel thought trains on that. A moral one and an economic one. And I think, in my view, either one of those on its own would be enough. The economic one goes along the lines of that I just described, as well as some other similar things. And then the moral one, y'all have probably already beat this horse to death before I got here, but the moral one being, you own yourself, you own your property. It's intrinsically unjust for me to initiate force against you or your property, but doing so is intrinsic and central to the nature of what a government is. It's an institution that unilaterally imposes a relationship. They impose taxes. They proclaim edicts as legislation and will send armed enforcers to abduct you and shoot you if you resist, if you disobey their edicts. If we were just talking about edicts along the lines of don't murder and don't steal, well, it would be okay for anyone to forcibly inhibit others from doing those. But a government by nature does not limit to that. They can proclaim arbitrarily what plants you're allowed to grow, what weapons you could keep. You have to pay them money if you want to operate a business that sells pancakes or something. If I were to behave as the government does, I would clearly be recognizable as a criminal, as a madman, as just a complete fucking dangerous lunatic. If I behaved as they do.
But you see, without the government, what stops businesses putting sawdust into their bread,
What stops the government?
If I want to sell bread, if I want to sell bread with a big label on the bread that says this bread contains sawdust, then I think that would be perfectly fine. And then it would be up to the consumer to decide whether or not they want to buy bread that contains sawdust. But if I don't put a label like that or something, if I don't make it obvious that's what I'm doing, then I think you have a tort claim. That is, I've defrauded you out of your money. You thought you were buying bread, not some weird fucking sawdust thing.
Hey, yo, you guys made this for me?
Hey, you're an ANCAP?
Dude, that's my name, brother.
Hey!
His name is AnCap1.
No way. We are ANCAPs.
Okay, so that's at least that's 5 AnCaps here. I don't know about naive Greg, but that's 5 AnCaps here.
You know, I do have a purity test, though.
All right, what is
I
it?
don't just, you know, we need to, as ANCAPs, we need an authority. Okay, I know this is hard for you guys to accept sometimes.
Disgusting.
You know, I've spoken to a few. Yeah, you know, we need God. Okay, it's that simple, guys.
You need God? Is that it?
We need Jesus Christ.
I don't know about that.
If
I
you would
know.
like to practice Christianity, none of us aim to stop you.
Yeah.
I feel that, but it needs to be more than that. We actually need guiding principles based on religiosity.
You should join my religion. Mine is Praxianism.
Okay, yeah, but anything. You also need theory, though. Theory is how you get creative. You know, theory is how we get infiltrate. You gotta be balanced. You need balance. That's why I come to bring balance to the Force.
Wow.
Because
I mean, I think we might, you know, what you're probably bringing balance to is probably a drunkard man almost tipping over.
Well, I come to bring imbalance to that.
Well, no.
Are you
But
a
what I'm
master
saying
debater
is-
like us?
Well, for sure, yeah, I'm undefeated. I mean, if that's what you count.
Oi.
Been on here about 5 minutes, so there's a lot of people on this server. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. We're waiting. We are anarcho-capitalists, all of us, and we're just waiting for people to come in to debate us on it.
It's a bunch of commies and shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, to me, anybody who's not an ANCAP is basically a commie.
It's pretty true.
Actually, I've made a meme about. Whoa, I don't have meme firms. I can't put it in the side chat.
No, I'm quite radical. I would say ANCAP the true communists.
What?
I would say ANCAP's the true communists because we achieve the ends of communism.
A true moneyless, stateless society.
Eventually, yeah.
I'm not sure how that would work.
I mean,
Yeah, so you gotta-
like, I mean, look. Marx wasn't describing a system; he was describing an end. And if you understand, like, what he meant with his Hegelian dialectics, he was talking about how we went from feudalism to capitalism, and you know, he believed after that would be the, you know, socialism and communism. He didn't exactly say, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be how."
You scared the new ANCAP guy away.
He just said that, oh yeah, communism is just the end of how, you know, society is going to be, you know, a moneyless, classless steel society. He didn't say what type of system would actually bring that about. He never talked about that. At least not in the context I'm talking about. But you could probably point to some of the things he proposed could potentially lead to that. But he didn't say that would actually bring her about.
Nice. Nice. I hate Karl Marx. That guy stunk. He probably smelled. He never
I mean,
showered.
I think he did actually. It's just silly, man, you know?
Why would you listen to that dirtbag?
Because I'm a rapist. And, you know, it takes one to know one.
So he was one?
Well, I'm a rapist, and it takes one to know one. That's why I love Marx.
That violates the NAP, bro.
Never violated the NAP. I'm a chill rapist because I only rape people who committed, like, you know, very wrong acts against the NAP.
Okay, so it's restitution based.
Yes, it's restitution based. I'm basically like the Dexter Morgan of rape.
All right, got you. Fuck, bro. Why isn't anyone joining?
Look, just take it on the chill. The first thing you have to understand about debate, and or at least convincing people to your side, don't pressure them. Don't be pressuring like, oh, do you want to know what anarcho-capitalism is? Do you want to know what anarcho-capitalism is? You take it slowly.
Well,
Right,
I mean,
so
that's kind of the point of the room. I say, hey, we're AnCaps. Want to know what AnCap
Indeed it
is?
The problem, indeed it is. The problem is that it's a horrible strategy.
So what should I tell them? Should I tell them I'm a communist and then?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you created a room and it said, if you join here, I'm going to have to explain you an entire essay. I mean, people may join. That's fine, but it's not exactly the best way of describing an essay, don't you think? Well, don't you think people would relate?
Well, I mean,
to,
you
like,
gotta. It's just
an
an introduction, bro. I think you're overthinking it.
I'm not overthinking it. Have you ever, like, you know, like, this is basic, like, shit. I mean, the stuff I'm talking about is very basic introductions into convincing people. Like, when you see people who fail to convince their own loved ones, which is extremely concerning, because if your wife doesn't subscribe to your politics, it
I don't have a wife.
Implies that's irrelevant. It either implies she doesn't love you and you're cucked, or it implies that you're too nervous to even, you know, describe your politics. Because imagine it this way, you know those preachers on the street that talk about, over, like, in films that talk about the end of the world? Like, if you don't do this, the world is gonna end. Get into a bunker, or like aliens are gonna invade. Like, when you think of those types of preachers, you probably don't really think of them very positively. And that's the way people view you when you're trying to explain everything and chuck it down their throats. Of course.
So when somebody comes in, I can't just go, "Hey guy, what's up, man? We're AnCaps. You want to join in and talk about AnCap?" I gotta take a little more.
You have to be more. You have to just say, "Oh, hello. Why did you join this?" And then see if, like, you're curious about this, but don't force it down their throats. I'd say. You need to learn the art of charisma.
So what's going on, guys? You guys want to learn about AnCap?
Hello, guys. Do you want to learn about AnCap?
I'm trying to do my best for the cause, bro. And nobody's joining, bro. It makes me want to die. A mace?
Faustian.
Maybe I should make an OnlyFans. I feel like that'll get me more money. Excuse me.
What would you post on OnlyFans?
Me reading, Man, Economy and State.
You'd have to topple a government before AnCap could even be viable.
Shirtless, and, you know, with your penis out.
Yes. Whatever makes me the most money, you know? What's up, Agent Smith? How you doing, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Hello, Ginger Anarchy. Hey, do we got another anarchist in here? How you guys doing? Good? Hanging out?
Just name.
Oh, just a name? Okay, got you.
Yeah, she's retarded. She didn't even know what words mean.
Top Cat? I like the name. What's going on, Top Cat?
All right, so what's the argument here?
So,
No argument of a moment. We're just,
we're just hanging out.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean, you can just read what the title of this channel is really.
me, Anthony, and yeah, we're AnCaps.
Do you have any questions?
Read the
Do you have
title.
any disputes?
Yeah, any questions, anything you want.
What's the how do you guys ground your guys' morality in the system that's anarcho-capitalist? How are you guys grounding it?
Like our legal system. Like legal theory, I should say.
So as long as something is legal,
First stream of the year.
it's okay?
Legal in the sense that you wouldn't be punished.
It is. Happy New Year, guys.
But,
All right, so if we are in a society that allows slavery, that's okay for you?
No, because slavery is against the non-aggression principle.
So you're using the non-aggression principle.
Yes, and that's a legal system.
Okay. Is there anything wrong with two brothers butt fucking each other?
Nope.
Well, not legally. It's legally fine, according to the.
All right. So just to be clear, you guys are okay with two brothers butt fucking each other?
I got a question. Do you think chocolate cake?
No. Well, no. Here's the thing. You have to.
Don't be
answer
rude.
my question.
Don't be rude.
No.
Don't be rude.
Answer my question.
Don't be rude.
Yes. The answer is yes.
We
The answer is
my
yes.
question.
We
No, wait.
ans-
Hold on.
The answer
Hold
is
on.
yes.
I need an answer from both of you, since you guys are
The answer is yes.
anarchists. So, is there anything? I get it. You think the answer is yes. Are you guys both willing to admit that butt fucking brothers?
I don't
are
care.
Both?
I don't
Great.
care.
Is that acceptable?
What do you mean by acceptable? Do I think it should be illegal?
Hold
No.
on. I'm not asking you.
Is
I
there
know
anything
you
off the
are
table
willing
for
to bite the
AnCap?
bullet.
I already
Is,
said yes.
King-
Legally speaking, it is fine.
Hold on.
We believe in the non-aggression
legally,
principle,
legally.
which means if you are violating the non-aggression principle, as in you're initiating force against somebody, then that's off the table.
Personally, just based on my intuition, I would say no, because two brothers bumfucking.
Wait,
each other.
no. What's
Good to
wrong
know.
with that?
Thanks.
Well, I think it would typically suggest an increased rate of STIs, and because it's very popular with anal sodomy, and two
Wait,
brothers
so
are
the
typically
problem is. Hold on, I just want to ask. I'm not trying to interrupt. I apologize, but the problem is.
Are you drunk or
sodomy?
something?
I was, yeah, he does sound drunk, but
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was just one of the reasons I listed. I'm gonna continue with the reasons, but first reason is anal sodomy typically leads to higher STIs, and if you want to have a virtuous life, typically you would not want to have an STI. The second bad thing about it is that it's two brothers.
Wait.
and
Can we?
two brothers-
Is it fair to go point by point? I think that's fair. Is that not fair?
I don't think it
Can
should
we
be
go
illegal.
Point by point.
What'd you say?
Is it not fair? Like you have multiple points, right? I just want to go point by point. Is that fair?
Okay.
Is that
He's
not fair?
definitely hammered.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
he does sound high
yeah.
or drunk.
Yeah, I think he is. I'm
All
trying
right,
to
great.
answer.
No. But you said because of STIs, right?
One of the reasons, yes.
All right. Well, if you're quoting that STIs is the ultimate problem, then you'd be
No, the
against
ultimate rule. No. I thought
Oh,
you said
That's actually
okay.
not a bad
Well,
point.
what-
I mean, you would be against gay people,
Wait,
right? That kind of has the same issue,
Right. Okay, so here's the thing. Fine, are you willing to throw that away?
I'm sorry. Like I said, I have multiple points. None of them are like the ultimate point. I would have to do more research to understand which point is more detrimental. But but like I said,
None of that matters to me.
Well, fair enough. But my personal intuition.
It matters to me.
I think again.
But go ahead. Sorry. No. Go ahead.
Be nice,
No,
Agent
it's
Smith.
No, I got past my first reason. Second reason, brothers, even though technically they cannot reproduce, two brothers typically means that you are misallocating how, or rather, you cannot create the virtue of life through brother on brother, especially man on man, and virtue of life would typically, would be the creation of life. I would say, just using my intuition, not saying this is true, I think it would be much better if it resulted in the virtue of life.
Based off of your intuition, there's nothing wrong with legalizing gay marriage then.
That's not my intuition. My legal theory is based on the non-aggression principle.
Well,
wait, I got a question for you.
Wait, hold on. Just to be clear, what would be in what's the word I'm looking for? What would be the problem with saying no gays could get married?
I mean,
how would that?
Because being gay doesn't harm anyone.
Exactly. Unless the church itself rejects it, and if they reject it, then fine. But gay people can't get married.
The church has rejected gay marriage, by the way.
Then there we go. If the church has rejected the gay marriage, then there we go. But if an individual church, some random fucking retarded Protestant denominational church,
what are you arguing against then? What's the? Hold on. Here's the thing. I get that this other guy wants to come in. Do you understand though? And I'm happy to debate this other guy, by the way.
Who, me?
The capitalists doubled back on it.
Yeah, you.
It's allowed now. LOL.
I think you understand what's happening here. You have some philosophical training.
What a pussy.
I would say Anthony's a little bit better on philosophy than me, but me personally,
here's the thing.
He's a little bit squeamish when it comes to things like homosexuality and two brothers having sex, whereas me, I'm kind of not very squeamish about things, and I don't really care about it.
And here's the thing. That's fair.
I called it, man. It's perfidy.
Hold on. That's fair, but hold on, Anthony.
Yeah.
Are you a Christian? Just let me ask.
Perfidy.
Don't mind.
I'm not a Christian, but I find some,
He frequents
solace
the periphery.
maybe in. Hold on. Do you find some solace in the Christian religion?
I think it's curious.
Some solace.
I'm
not saying you're a Christian. Go ahead.
Bro,
Sorry,
you sound really. Have you been drinking?
Yeah, he's been drinking. I swear he's been drinking.
There's no way you have not been drinking.
About it.
Like I said, I think Christianity is I'm very curious about the religion.
Okay.
I'm not, but okay, but I'm not a Christian. No.
Wow. The indecision seems perfidy.
I think that homosexuality is perfectly fine.
Okay, just to be clear, hold on. I'm willing to debate every one of you all, but I'd prefer to take your worldviews on one at a time. Is that fair?
All right, you know what? I'll hang back and I'll let you guys go.
Well,
no, I mean, if Anthony wishes to fold or whatever, I'll take whoever else.
I've
is
already
next.
bitten the bullet. I've already said that legally, which is a subset of ethics.
All right. Well, I'm
Two gay
engaged
brothers
with you
can
now.
have intercourse. I never fucking
All right.
said
What
they
would?
can't.
Well-
wait. Hold on. So there would be nothing wrong with two twin brothers, but fucking each other.
Now that's a moral. Well, it'd be wrong to stop it, but
Wait.
that goes
What
into
would be?
morality.
Why?
That goes into
Hold on.
morality.
Hold on.
which I-
Hold on. Why would that be wrong to stop?
Because it violates, their self ownership. It violates the non-aggression principle.
Oh, okay. So
And-
here's the
and
thing.
Tony-
Oh, wait.
Let
Guys,
agent go.
let us have this.
Don't
Let
worry,
us
I'm on
have
your
this
side. I'm
debate.
saying, wait, I'm the owner of the room. I'm saying to let you
All right,
and
fair enough.
let you and Anthony go. Echo Chamber, if you want to jump in, just say, hey, I want to jump
I'm
in,
happy-
and then we'll give you a
He's
chance.
just gonna call me
happy-
retarded because you believe in that. Even though
I'm happy
Also, no
to
name
debate. I'm happy to debate each and every one of you, but I'm clearly outnumbered. Okay, so can I?
No,
at
you're
least
not.
Take
You're
it
good.
one-on-one?
You're not.
You're really drunk. I cannot debate a drunk person. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Well,
I'm about
here's
to
the thing.
annihilate this gay cunt, dude. Just go
You,
away.
you can't handle this
Alright.
guy anymore.
All right. I'm willing to engage with whoever else since he's renouncing being able to pay. What a fucking cunt.
I mean,
Can't even fucking argue his
Do
own.
me, do me, do me, because he can't do it, man. Do me.
All
What's
right.
the question?
No, don't be rude to me now.
Do me, man. I don't mind about the homosexuality. I think the homosexuality is like a non-posture situation.
I'm going to explain my position.
Are you gonna unmute him?
No.
Legally, I think it should be allowed, but that doesn't mean that morally I support it. Now, morally, I'm not sure what type of morality I subscribe to. Perhaps eventually I may inquire. Perhaps eventually I will
So
inquire
you're not gonna
into.
unmute someone that can challenge your worldviews?
Yes.
Listen, look, as a Christian,
If you don't like it, get out.
as a Christian, no one gives a fuck.
If that was his question, by the way, and I was about to ask him a rebuttal to it, but he was like, no. That's why I can't debate these drunk people, because they'll always debate, like, very irresponsibly. So,
Don't worry, I muted him.
all right.
We'll wait for actual non-drunk people to jump in.
Yeah, exactly, because I was about to say, now, this is a reductio ad absurdum. But if you believe, or rather, I was going to ask it now, do you believe chocolate cake should be illegal? Now, you could say, well, it's not severe. Well, you probably don't know what reductio ad absurdum is if you think it's not, because that's not really relevant. I'm just trying to test this logic. And if you believe it should be legal, because even though it's unhealthy, then by the same logic, you should be, support the legality of something as degenerate as two fucking brothers shagging each other.
I mean, yeah, if you eat a lot of chocolate cake, that is pretty degenerate.
Yeah, it leads to obesity and it leads to, really bad outcomes. It probably even